first off, guys, I'm kind of sick today, so please, no comments on how I sound funny. I know I sound funny. So I've been playing a lot of Skyrim lately, and everyone keeps asking what my mods list looks like. So I'm going to try to cover all of the key mods, which are, there's a lot. And I'll cover my ENB, my lighting settings, and give you guys a few pointers in this video. So first off, let's just get started with some of the gameplay changes and some of the character enhancements, immersion type things, and then we'll go on to graphics and then on to my ENB settings. So first off, the main thing that you guys need to install is SSME. Now this changes the way Skyrim deals with memory management, and it makes the game stable again because the game was kind of written for consoles, and consoles don't really have very much memory and stuff. So very extremely important, my most important thing ever. I've done the manual version of this, and there's some instructions here on how to do the manual memory patch here. So I've done that, but I might upgrade to this one, and this one is nice and easy for you, so go ahead and do that. Also, here's an interesting guide for ENB speed and stability, but you know, that's no big deal. A lot of people use Skyrim Redone. I'm using Hardcore and Balanced Experience, and I might switch to Skyrim Redone next time. This basically makes it so that there's no leveled creatures. Sometimes if you're like level 3 and you walk into a level 15 dungeon, you're dead. It also rebalances a lot of different things like the loot system, smithing, you know, just a lot of different things that this covers a lot of different things and makes the game a lot more hardcore. Like right now it's kind of the weakest of the Elder Scrolls games, but you know, that's probably why it sold 20 million copies, because it's a very watered down experience. But we're fixing that right now. Also, Sky UI is very important because the user interface is designed for console again, and Sky UI will fix all that for you. Moving right along. Now, the first time I played through it, I was a Dragonborn. I never really do the main quest, but I wanted a very just basic, you know, game, and I don't really want to be special, so I decided to install You Are Not the Dragonborn. You have no shouts. Nobody speaks to you as if you're the Dragonborn. You're not legendary. There's nothing epic. You're just a person in the world. And to further that, I've got alternate start, live another life. This just, you know, it basically starts you off in this room. You design your character, and after you're finished designing your character, you choose from a large list of places that you would like to, you know, end up or start your game, and or you can just do random, and it'll start you somewhere random. Maybe it's in the middle of the woods camping. Maybe it's somewhere else. If you want dragons in the game, because dragons need to be triggered by, you know, the main quest. And if you're not the Dragonborn, there'll be no dragons unless you install immediate dragons. So as soon as you start playing, dragons will be in the world. Also, the race menu. God, I hate this stupid artwork. These guys have never seen a woman in real life before, so they fapped this crap. But whatever. So race menu is a much improved character creation system, and you can also access the race menu at any time during the game just by bringing up your console and typing something race menu. I forget. It's in here somewhere. If you care about that, you can read about that. Alright, moving right along. Now, I really think that the stealth system in the game needed a lot of work, and the first thing that made no sense to me is that when you trigger a trap in a dungeon, nobody's alerted. So this one, the traps create an alert event, so that all the NPCs in the area will be alerted. There's also another you know, mod here. This is optional. Traps make noise. That's the one. The other option is to make the traps more dangerous and they actually level with you, so that, you know, if you're high level and you get hit by a log flying, you're probably going to die. Armor disguises. It's exactly what you think it might be. You can be the master of disguise, and you know, if you put on like the entire suit of one faction's armor and you're the master of disguise, or if you get, like, you know, some upgrades, you can wander around, you know, and they're not even going to know that you're not supposed to be there. Beards. Yes, must have beards. Lots of beards. Animal creature egg. Bellyache's animal creature pack. This is part of the texture pack combiner. I'm not sure why it's here, but I'm using this separately because it allows you to choose exactly what variations and variants of different animals to have in your game. This really goes in with the character creation, and you'll see this a lot in the world once you install it, but the Battle Hardened Warpaint is the best Warpaint mod in my opinion. Tons of options, tons of colorations, and they actually look painted on and you can see the skin tone beneath it. So this is a very interesting mod here. Moving right along. Birds and Flocks. Got that in there. This is the Hearthfire edition because I have Hearthfire. Bring Out Your Dead. This adds Oops. This adds tombstones and graves and that sort of thing because those were vacant in the game. The last version of this crashed my game all the time, but this version is working fine. 1.2.2. Camps, refugees. So this just puts, different camps, and there's several different files you can install here. Camps part 2, battlefields. I installed them all. I like having all kinds of little camps to discover, extra stuff. Convenient horses is absolutely necessary in my opinion. It makes the horses a lot more convenient. You can learn to whistle to call your horse. You can buy a horn to, you blow the horn and the horse appears beside you. It does a lot of other things, and you can even make the sprinting faster with the horses. So I actually use that a lot because I don't fast travel, so I use the faster sprinting instead. Deadly mutilation, it's a mod that allows you to cut people's heads off and stuff, dismember people, blow their heads up. Had some problems with this depending on what textures I'm using. Sometimes I'll hit someone in the torso and it'll dismember them, but instead of dismembering them, it'll actually make their body disappear. So use that at your own risk. Double cursor fix. Sometimes when you alt tab out of the game, you'll have this stupid Windows cursor on the screen. This removes that problem. Dual combat realism makes the combat in the game a lot better, and Skyrim does a lot of this. So if you're using Skyrim, you may not use this. I use the hardcore mode 7. It makes staggering a lot more of a part of the game. It's almost like whoever gets the first stagger can sometimes win the fight because you'll stagger them really hard and then you keep piling on the blows and keep staggering them. But this also makes it so that you can get staggered, and when you're staggered, I mean your camera goes up and down and all around, and it's very difficult to fight. So I like this version, but version 5 is the one that most of you guys should be using. Also using the enemy AI overhaul. I love this mod. It makes the enemies heal themselves, use just a variety of attacks and tactics, and there's no scripts needed for this. It makes the combat so much more interesting. They really feel a lot more alive. Friendly creatures, because not all creatures should try to kill you when you see them. So I'm using friendly creatures. Moving right along. Frost giants in the cold. They're pretty much the same as the regular giants, but they look really cool. And I mean, same type of actions and stuff. It's like a skin they put on top of the regular giants, but they're now in the cold areas. You have these giants walking around. Frostfall. Now, Frostfall changes the gameplay quite a bit. It turns it more into a very light survival simulation. You can get hypothermia, you get camps, backpacking, all that kind of stuff. There's a bunch of other mods that go along with that. Guard dialogue overhaul. I'll move that over here, so I don't think that's appropriate. Kill Heartbreaker, a kill move mod. That's also one that I have. I'm going to kind of skip through some of these, but if you like kill moves, this is pretty cool. Where's the rest of the stuff? They went with Frostfall. I don't know. It's right around here somewhere. We'll come back to Frostfall. Immersive first-person view. This mod I only use because I want it for the horses. The rest of the game I find to be quite unplayable, but it does allow you to have first-person view on your horse. And there are a ridiculous amount of parameters, and I think by the time they do some updates, I'll be able to use this all the time, non-stop in the game. But it makes the first-person view feel a lot more like, almost like DayZ. It puts the camera in the person's head. But again, I only use it for the horse. Immersive HUD, that gets rid of pretty much everything on your HUD, so you have a nice clean screen. And you can set it to come back on and get rid of the cursor, get rid of the crosshair, whatever. There's guard dialogue overhaul, just makes the dialogue with the guards better. Immersive patrols, it adds several patrols to Skyrim. And these mods are all optional. The fewer mods you go with, the better your game's going to run. So if you don't feel like you need immersive patrols or whatever, then don't do it. Immersive settlements. This is kind of interesting. There's a lot of areas in Skyrim where you have a main area, and then the outskirts will not be filled in. So this adds just more stuff around the outsides of several of the cities and small towns and that sort of thing. Lots of things. This is Whiterun. They've added all this stuff to Whiterun, and it makes the game feel a lot more alive. Immersive weapons. You'll need to get this with and you'll also need to get any patches to go with any of your other mods. But it adds a lot of really cool weapons to the game, and they're all lore friendly. Improved sneak detection. And I should have mentioned this earlier when I was talking about the traps and everything. But this, before with vanilla, you could essentially pull out a torch, and as long as you were in sneak mode, they wouldn't see you. Now, light plays a lot more into this. If you pull out a torch, they're going to spot you so fast. It also makes it much easier for them to detect you. so it makes the sneaking a lot more interesting in my opinion. This mod just adds a bunch of NPCs all over the place, and you know, it makes the game feel more alive. So if you want more NPCs, get it. Interesting NPCs, another mod, but this one adds lots of dialogue trees and some quests, and puts NPCs all over the place. If you like lots of NPCs, you can get those mods. Killable children, one of the most important mods, not because I like to kill children, but because it just makes no sense that if you hit a child with a sword, they would stay alive. I also hated the fact that in Skyrim, there's certain characters that you cannot kill, and I probably need to get a mod for that. Like some certain key characters for quests and things, it just makes no sense that you can't kill them. It really makes it feel like the experience is watered down and they're holding your hand and all that. In Morrowind, you could kill anybody, but it would be like, hey, by the way, you've just screwed up this entire quest line, but hey, whatever you want to do, if you want to do it, do it. More bandit camps. You know, my theme here, I'm really liking adding extra camps and things like that. Anything that makes the game feel more interesting. So it adds a bunch more bandit camps. And I also love a good bandit battle while I'm going from A to B, not fast traveling. The spinning death animation. That was so annoying. You hit somebody, and they would do this strange 180, 360, whatever. They would do this strange spin and then fall. Gets rid of that crap. Point the way. I love this mod because I don't use fast travel. It adds signs like this all over. So whenever you come to you know, a T in the road, just take a look at the signs and keep going. Alright, here's the mod I used for my first person camera bob, because there's the vanilla game doesn't really have a very good bob. This adds a nice healthy head bob to the game, and I'm going to be using the heavy version for a while, and I use that in conjunction with the realistic first person mod, but like I said, I only use the realistic first person for the horse. When they update it and I'm satisfied with it, I'll use the realistic first person in place of this. Real wildlife, yeah. This just adds all kinds of things, new ingredients. Kind of interesting for hunting if you wanted to install some hunting mods. I don't really have any hunting mods going right now, but it allows you to harvest a lot more of the animals. It does a lot more to the game as well. I like my, animals and things. Realistic crime radius is interesting. If you commit a crime in one place, normally it kind of spreads way too far, way too fast. So this fixes that problem and gives you a realistic crime radius. Sprint and jump, yes. I like to be able to jump when I'm sprinting. This also changes some animations as well. I've already done that one, yes. Sky birds, even more birds, and these birds perch and flock and all kinds of things. Birds are cool. Community uncapper is necessary for a lot of the other mods. Just install it. It will allow you to... Well, and also you can change the rate at which you level. Like I've slowed my leveling down quite a bit because it's more fun that way. But it also allows you to gain more skill points and that sort of thing. Removes all the caps on that. More realistic animals and predators. This is Sky Test. So just adds more animals, and there's stuff like that. There, moving right along. Sneak tools. Man, I didn't group up all my sneak stuff, but oh well. Sneak tools is really awesome. It allows you to slit people's throats when you're up behind them. It does all kinds of things. If you're someone who likes to sneak, check out sneak tools. Skyrim does a lot to improve the sneaking as well, so you may not need this, but I've chosen to go a route in where I needed to install several different mods to equal what Skyrim does. Alright, I'm using Sounds of Skyrim. It's a very interesting mod that adds tons of different sounds to Skyrim and replaces a lot of the vanilla sounds with much better sounds. But here's the one I really like. The audio overhaul for Skyrim. This one does so much. It makes the combat way more dramatic, because if someone's shooting like an arrow at you, you're going to hear it whiz by your ear. It makes the explosions, like from the different spells and that sort of thing, way better. Like the lightning spell, it sounds almost like the lightning from the Emperor's fingers in Star Wars. I mean, it really does sound like an electrical charge. The fireball effects, they sound very deadly, and they whiz by your ear and hit the wall and explode. It sounds awesome. I already talked about the Dance of Death, didn't I? Well, this is another kill move mod. You can combine these kill move mods. They work together just fine. Using this for the characters. The Eyes of Beauty. I think those eyes are the best looking eyes in the game. They're also not too over the top. Ultimate spinning arrows. This makes your arrows have a natural, spin to them. And this is really awesome, when you get like an arrow kill and it goes into slow motion and follows the arrow, because you'll get to see the arrow spinning naturally. It's pretty cool. Uncle Sheogorath. This is just some silliness. It adds some quotes from Uncle Sheogorath right here while your game is loading.
Pearls of wisdom.
Yeah, pearls of wisdom, as Pistol said. They're ridiculous. Unique region names is pretty cool. It does just that. It adds more unique region names and for your save game, so you know exactly where you are in the game. It's also important to have these unofficial patches. There's an unofficial patch for Skyrim, and there's also unofficial patches for Dawnguard, Hearthfire, Dragonborn, and the official high-res texture pack has an unofficial patch as well. By the way, I got rid of my high-res texture pack from Bethesda. I found that my game runs much better now without it, and there's fewer crashes. In order to do that, you can email Steam support if you have the Steam game and you opted to get the high-res texture pack, and they will remove it from your account. It's wonderful. All right, wearable lanterns. This should be over with the other lantern mods, but I think it's pretty cool to get a lantern, fill it full of stuff. You can also get a bug in a jar, wear that. Pretty cool. Resized windmills makes the windmills much larger and more glorious. This is a quest mod, Worm's Tooth. There's also Falscar and what's the Elsewhere. There's several interesting quest mods out there. I haven't really gotten into this one yet, but I did install it. The choice is yours. This one's nice because every time you talk to an NPC, they're always like, they'll say something random like, hey, I saw an interesting ghost in a mine last Thursday. And then all of a sudden your journal's going to get updated and it's going to be like, investigate the mine. Well, this one takes all that nonsense out of the game. So now you can talk to anybody and not have to worry about getting all these random quests added to your journal. This one will ask you, hey, would you like to add this to your journal? So you can, there's more options. It's pretty cool. There, see, it'll add stuff like this. You want me to try to find out why? I don't have time for this nonsense. So yeah, I like that a lot. All right, closing this and moving on to what I'm doing for my weather, because I'm no longer using Climates of Tamriel. Climates of Tamriel did way too many things, and there are some things I didn't want, so I decided to piece together my own mods to do possibly something a little better. And the other thing I don't like about Climates of Tamriel is it does not work with a lot of ENBs out there, and it also colors the game in a strange way, which it does look pretty good with vanilla, but when you start playing with ENBs, you have to use certain ENBs or it's not going to work. So instead I'm using Enhanced Dynamic Weather System. Adds tons of different weather systems to the game. One of the things I really like about the Enhanced Dynamic Weather System is it's compatible with several other mods. The first one I want to mention is Supreme Storms. And some of these storms are pretty awesome, but not all versions are compatible with ENB. So just double check, like some of the visibility options don't really work so well, but it's pretty awesome. And this also works with Climates of Tamriel, but it makes the storms really awesome. Then we have more snow. Oh, this is the one that doesn't work with ENB. Some of these over here don't work with ENB. But I think Supreme Storms always does. So you guys can play around with it. If it looks weird, install a different version. But you do get all these options with more snow and more rain. So I just use more rain, less visibility over there, options like that. And then we need lightning, man. Lightning! So I've got Minty's Lightning. It's just called Lightning During Thunderstorms. And of course we also have Immersive Skyrim Thunder. Give you that nice rumbling thunder. And then Morning Fogs Refined. Morning Fogs, I was using that for a while, and this is based upon that, but it gives you more options because it makes some entries in your Skyrim mod configuration setting things. So you can actually, well, there's not the video there. You can actually go in and configure it to behave in certain ways. Rainbows, y'all. Oh my god, double rainbow. Oh my god. What does this mean? What does this mean?
I saw a triple rainbow once.
You saw a triple rainbow?
Yeah.
All the way across the sky? Shooting stars. That's what we are.
That's what we do.
That's what we do, shoot stars. Why did I put Lanterns of Skyrim here? So Lanterns of Skyrim is interesting as well, but it's going to be weird at first. You're going to need to get the main file, which will be one of these. I usually get this one. And then you're going to need to get some optional files. Like, because, in the configuration menu, you have these optional files you need to turn on. So, yeah. This might take some doing and playing with. Closing out of this, it's time to talk about texture mods than ENB. So now to start off with all the textures, I use the texture pack combiner as a base, and I'm not going to do a tutorial on the texture pack combiner in this video because it's ridiculous. But you can almost get by without it these days, and I need to update my texture pack combiner. So what I've done is I've installed the static mesh improvement on top of texture pack combiner, which is kind of stupid, but this actually makes your game look a lot better. Because right now the problem in the game is that the meshes have, like, you know, no angles. Like, look at the before and after. Looks a lot better. So that helps a lot. And there's your texture pack combiner here. This takes a gazillion different texture packs. You have to download them and go through a pretty big process. There are some automated ways to do this, but like I said, this is not the video to get into that. Texture pack combiner is a really good way to go, though, for just like a base, and then you can install new stuff on top of that. As far as my snow textures, I really like Ural's textures. He's got the 2K snow footprints here. I like the way they look a lot. There's several different ones out there. There's like enhanced dynamic snow or something. Maybe that's not the one I'm thinking of, but there's dynamic snow, more snow, I don't know. But I like this one the best. And then his alternative snow goes right along with that one. It's very pretty. And you know, he has a lot of interesting mods here, like his real ice is good. Realistic candle effect, I don't really need that because I'm using an ENB. I do like the way his mountains look and his rock textures, but I don't use them. Better circlets. This is kind of cool. You know, just big illustrated town signs. Better snowflakes, but with my ENB, I have ENB snowflakes, so I don't need that. His alternate smoke I do not use because ENB has smoke. Better rings and just Thieves Guild armor. Yeah, lots of things. He has lots of cool mods. Bugs. Lots of bugs and stuff. So this is just called 83 Willows, 101 Bugs HD, Butterflies, Dragonflies, Luna Moth, Torch Bug. Torch bugs are handy because that's what you put in your little glass jar. This is the map I use. It's just the quality road map, world map with roads. Yep. And there's several different maps out there. I'm not going to judge you if you use a different one. I will judge them. I like Amidium board stuff. Book of Silence is good. Let me just show you that they do like all kinds of things. New weapons, new textures, armors, creatures. You can go through here and look around and download just the ones you want. But I use just about all of them because I really like the way they look. Yeah, new textures for all kinds of different things. Is this a Charos? What is this? Yeah, that looks awesome. Close that up. Also, there's an Amidium-born Solstein landscape. I'm using that one, but I haven't really gone to Morrowind yet. But it just, you know, improves the landscape. Falmer Clutter texture mod. I like this one better than the one that's used for the texture pack combiner. Just changes the Falmer clutter and Falmer houses and that sort of thing. Bandolier, bags and pouches. This really goes with Frostfall and all those type of mods. It just makes the game, you know, feel a little more interesting. It allows you to carry more stuff, but I think it looks kind of cool too. And then you got Cloaks of Skyrim, of course. A lot of people using this one. And the Cloaks of Skyrim are very necessary for Frostfall because they do give you a bonus when it comes to dealing with the elements. And then there's Winter is Coming. And this works with the Cloaks of Skyrim, but you'll need to make sure you have all the compatibility patches and all that sort of thing. And they should be here in the files. Yep, right there. Alright. And then we have fur hoods. Just, you know, adding to it. It's kind of cool. I like some hoods, man. This guy right here, he's like, what's up? I'm from the hood. And this is my bow and arrow. Hi. Camping Kit of the Northern Ranger. This also works really well with, what's that name of that? Frostfall? Yeah. Allows you to camp and build a fire and, you know, cook and all kinds of things. So yeah, that one's fun. Moving along. More backpacks. Saber Gear backpack. So I use that one. Deadly Spell impacts. This and the audio overhaul work really nicely together because they make the impacts from the spells look a lot more interesting, whereas the audio overhaul makes them sound as if they should look this way. Hope that makes sense. I love these banners. Just designs of the Nords. He puts these cool banners all over the place. There's some really pretty banners. I think it adds a little little flair to your game, you know. All right, let's talk about your face. Talk about your face. Detailed Faces version 2. This works just fine with vanilla. You can use this, but I also use these textures for the women, because a lot of the textures out there for the women make them look all like they're on a modeling runway or something like that, with tons of makeup and lipstick, and it looks like an
airbrushed.
Yeah, airbrushed, photoshopped, and it makes them look like an anime character or something. But look at this. That's the way I feel a female would look. Sun parched a little bit, slightly rougher textures on the face,
and
it's called
actual skin looks like.
Yeah, it looks like what skin looks like. And it's called Hail, Rough Female Face. We're not going to talk about the nude texture packs in this. I'm sure some of you guys are going to be running them. I run a basic nude texture pack for the women and the men, because if you take someone's cloak, they're probably going to be naked. Elven Overhaul. Sometimes I like to play an elf, and I really like what they've done. Like, the original elves look kind of strange. This one, it works for the guys and the girls, and it makes them look a lot more interesting. Like, way better. So it's just the Ethereal Elven Overhaul. Enhanced blood textures. Now this one is way better than Crimson Tide, because Crimson Tide is one of those mods that I warn everyone to stay away from, because there's lots of scripts and that sort of thing, and it can cause your game to crash. This one is more stable, and I also think it looks quite a bit better. Now, depending on your settings, the blood may be a bit too light in color. So what I've done over here is I've gone into the files, and I installed just the standard version here with Mod Manager. And then down here under the optional files, there's several different things here that you can add on to this. But there's different resolutions. Blurry screen blood. And then there's brighter blood and darker blood. So I downloaded darker blood. And if you guys want to install this with the Nexus Mod Manager, I'll show you a little secret here on how to do that. You download it from wherever you want to download it from, right? Now that's going to download a zip file. So just waiting on this thing to go. Okay, there we go. It's 25 megabytes. Are you kidding me? So anyway, if you guys want to, that's 6 minutes. I'll show you how to do it with a different one. So say you've downloaded whatever mod. You click here, and you go to that mod that you've downloaded manually. As you can see, I download a lot of mods manually, like Pure Waters or whatever. And you just double click on it. As long as it's a 7-zip file, you may want to open it up and just make sure that everything's organized correctly inside there. And if it's just like a data folder with other stuff, you're good to go. If it's like a textures folder, I usually make another folder called data, put it all in there, zip it up. But Nexus Mod Manager is pretty clever with all this stuff, so you can usually just double click the file and it'll install. Yeah, I don't really want Pure Waters, but you guys get the idea. I don't need this either. This is the hair mod I use. A lot of them have this anime look to them, which I don't think makes any sense in Skyrim. And I keep seeing these people with these ridiculous hair mods. This one, the hair has a much finer look to it. You can almost see the individual strands, which I think looks a lot cooler than that mat that used to be on top of their head. And plus, this, that looks about right, yeah. Tough guy with some hair. It maybe could be a little bit nastier than that, but this is not bad at all in my opinion. So again, it's superior lore-friendly hair, HD textures. Is this the one you used to?
Yes, this is the one I recommended to you.
Yeah, she recommended this to me, and I was like, yeah, let me get rid of these stupid Apache hairs. Why do people use the stupid Apache hairs? I don't even know.
'Cause it was like the only one for the longest time.
Yeah. I'm also using the Heavy Armory. Adds a bunch more stuff to the game. Make sure you get all the compatibility patches for anything that may need it. This is my Night Sky. I like the HLP Night Sky. It's got a finer look to it than most of the other ones out there. As you can see, it looks like, I don't know, just not as cheesy as some of the other ones. And there's also, if you're using some ENBs, there's going to be a flicker that's going to look weird. So if you look in the optional files, there's a shimmer fix. So install that one as well. Immersive Interiors is interesting. Allows you to see outside. Yeah, look at that. I like this one quite a bit, so I'm installing it. Every once in a while I'll notice some weirdness from it, but yeah. Immersive Interiors. Natural intricate spider webs, and this is 2x. These spider webs look a little bit more natural to me. The one problem I have with them is they're very white in the dungeons. Like very white. So sometimes they're almost nonsensically white. But I do like the texture of them. Open face guard helms. This one's really nice. It Adds a lot of variety to the guards. Gives them a lot of personality. There's Real Ice. I mentioned that one earlier, but this is the ice mod that I'm using. And I was using water until today, and I switched over to Realistic Water 2, and I really like what's going on with this mod. The one thing I don't like about it is the regular water mod, just water, W-A-T-E-R, with the period after each one of those. That one adds a lot of vegetation under the surface, but I like the way the actual ripples on the surface look right here, and they're actually it's parallax normal maps. I believe it's parallax, but there's actually an ENB setting in here, or an ENB download. Let me go to files here and show you. So you get your water there, you download that one first, and then you've got the ENB textures, which is really cool. And also, since you have the ENB textures and stuff, it'll work really well with your newer ENBs. You need version 2.236 or higher of the binary ENB to make this work. And then you can go in and change the speculars and all that sort of thing, like the sun shining right there. Sometimes it was a little bit too bright for me and looked almost plasticky, so I turned that down and it looked really good. But I really like this, and I actually like the way the foam looks a lot better with this one than I do with water. The waterfalls look a little bit better. The spray looks a little bit better. There's splashes now that are more natural, and also the icebergs and the ice chunks, now they bob up and down. Unfortunately, there's no collision on those, so even though you're standing on them, you don't actually bob up and down with them. It's kind of weird. Here are the rock textures that I'm using. I'm not using Urals, I'm using these. They're Superior Rock Textures HD. No, it's just Superior Rock Textures, high quality HD 2K, whatever. And the exact ones that I'm using are the light gray, and I'm using the 2K version, not the 4K version, because the ENB is nice and smooth, and I mean, the 4K version looks better, but you don't need that hit on your frame rate. And it really only looks different when you're right up on it like this close. You can see a little difference. So if you're not really worried about it, then yeah, definitely get the 2K version. But I love the way these rock textures look. And of course I'm using the Skyrim Flora Overhaul by Vert. And I'm actually just using the basic edition, and I'm doing some other things to this. So I've got the basic edition going on, right? And then on top of that, I'm using Skyrim Bigger Trees. This is going to kill your frame rate, so be very careful with this mod. It makes the trees way bigger. And one of the downsides of making the trees bigger, I mean, they look amazing, but when they're bigger, the textures are stretched. So I'm using the, where is it, Trees HD, right here it is. Now Trees HD just retextures the trees. And all of these things are going to be compatible with Vert's, but I actually like how the large trees look with Vert's basic edition better. Seems like there's more and bigger trees. Yeah. And for my grass, I actually prefer this one over all of the other mods. It's unique grasses and ground covers. And this one actually didn't really hurt my frame rate all that much. I'm using the medium version of this. And I also like the version without roads. You can, when you're setting this up, it'll ask you if you want it to be on the roads or not on the roads. I don't put any on the roads. It looks weird with grass on the roads. And the other thing I'm using here under the files, Mindflux. I'm using Mindflux's grass and clovers. They're really awesome. I love the Mindflux grass textures. We're going to talk about Mindflux just a bit more in just a second, because he helps out with a lot of different things for ENB. And then I've also got visible windows. This is, whatever, just better windows. So that's the texture section. Now let's get down to business with some ENB stuff. I'm using Potpourri ENB Extended. And there are a few different versions of this one. I think it has a really nice look to it. The newer versions, I think even the original version, was designed to work with ELFX. I do not use ELFX. I find that this is a bit too contrasty. Here's the before and after, just to give you guys an example. It's a bit too contrasty. The rays of light that come into the rooms and stuff, they look like they almost have tangible edges, and the light doesn't disperse the way it should. So I don't actually like this mod that much. I think it looks okay. But I much prefer relighting Skyrim. And one of the problems in vanilla Skyrim is that the light sources, they don't really, this is with the mod, let me show you without the mod. Look, there's no light in there. This is vanilla, it's weird. There's like an artificial light source here, so I don't even know what they were doing. This one makes the light sources cast off light naturally. And yeah, it looks really cool. Also, this kind of stuff, like, that's the way it was before, just a glowing thing, but now it's going to cast shadows. The light comes from there. This is almost like a light source on top of it. I'm not sure what they were thinking there. Maybe they were trying to make it work with consoles, but yeah, whatever. So I really prefer relighting Skyrim over enhanced lights and effects, and I've seen a few oddities using the Potpourri ENB with this, but not too many. One other thing to note, I do not like the newer versions of this ENB, version 2.33, 2.44, and the newest version for version 2.36, I think are way too contrasty, and some of the lights are just way too bright. It looks kind of weird. So what I'm using here is this one right here. I'm using First Seed ENB Extended, and I'm just using version 2.17, or I'm sorry, 0.217. I'm using that one. If you want a more vibrant feel to your game, you can use this one, Morningstar ENB. It's kind of bluer and more natural. This has a very light sepia feel to it, and they both have this really almost cinematic, glowy feel to them that I really like. So I'm using that ENB, and I think my game looks pretty damn good with it. Also, you're going to want to get the particle patch here on ENB series, not ENB dev /forum viewtopic.php !f equals 6 ampersand t equals 1499. There you go. Just go right there. And here's Mindflux again. He's created a really nice particle patch for ENBs. So download and install that. The Potpourri is going to come with a data file that you're going to need to throw into your directory. But what I've done is I've actually done just like I did before. I took the data file from Potpourri ENB, and I imported just that file, and I installed it through the Nexus Mod Manager, just like I was showing you earlier. We can go here and install a 7-zip file, and then it'll install that way. I much prefer doing it that way. That way you can turn it on and off whenever you need it. Also, you're going to need dark dungeons for ENB, because without it, the night times look weird, the dungeons look weird. So you'll definitely need this. And yeah, I guess that's about it for the ENBs. One other thing to note, if you guys are experiencing any issues with your ENB, well, let's go over here and fix up your ENB local. Give you guys a quick overview on this. Pretty much ignore the stuff on the top here. Make sure you're using the effect and all that. The one thing I want to talk about is just the memory. If you're using 64-bit version of your OS, make this true. It's false by default, I believe. You can reduce the system memory usage, yes. And this you can turn it on and off and see which one works better. This is just, allows your driver to manage memory. I use that. And then right here, the video memory size and enable compression. If you turn compression off, your game's going to crash more, but you'll have less stutter. So that's one thing to think about. Video memory size. A lot of people say that there's like some kind of equation where it's like, hey, you take your GPU memory and you add that to your system memory, divide by the reciprocal of the tangent of the surface area of the sun, and then you get a number to put here. I've had more stability just putting the exact number that corresponds with the memory that I have on my GPU. So for instance, it's 1024, 2048, 3072, and if you have 4 gigabytes, that is 4096. That's what you put there. Reserved memory size. This does not need to be that high. You can raise it a little bit, but this actually induces stutter in your game. I found that it's running completely stable at 128, but it was not running stable at the default 64. Now the reserved memory size, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure this is sharing with the system memory, like moving textures over to the graphics card and vice versa. Having a larger one will make the game theoretically more stable, but it will induce more, I guess, more stutter. If you have, like 1 gigabyte of memory, you may need a little bit more here. But with a lot of video memory, you just want to keep those textures right here. So I'm pretty sure that's going to cover just about everything. One last thing that I do, you guys may want to look into. I run my game in a window because I'm streaming and that sort of thing, but I hate the border around it. It kind of is annoying to me. So I force borderless to be true. But the problem with that is it makes the game go, up in the corner. So I'm using a program called Shift Window. And you can download this. One of the Eve community members made this. And it essentially allows you to go and grab, if it's open, you grab, whatever window's open. I grab Skyrim. Skyrim's open, so yay, grab Skyrim. And then you can set up the coordinates on your screen, and you can play around with this. And then set up the width and the height right there. And I've got it automatically after 7 seconds. Right now what it does is it pops right to the center of my screen, and it looks really nice. I'm also running it at 2000 by 1000, and I've changed that in my Skyrim prefs.ini. There's a horizontal height and a vertical height you can change. So this video was pretty damned in depth, I think, but I think I still have a ton that I could cover, like cleaning, you know, mods and that sort of thing. But there are plenty of guys out there doing videos, like Bro Jewel and Gopher and all those guys. So check out their stuff. They know their stuff better than I do. I'm just a guy that likes to play video games and make videos on YouTube and eat eggs in the morning. I don't know. So anyway, yeah, that's my game. It looks better than yours until you do a bunch of mods, and maybe yours looks better than mine now. So let me see what mods you guys are running. And yeah, oh, one more thing. If you guys are curious about ENB, you come over to enbdev.com. And when you first get there, it's kind of weird because you're like, where the hell is the ENB binaries? You got to click on News, click on Download, go down to the game you like, and it actually works for several different games, Skyrim, and then you download the binary. I've actually had no problems running this binary with the newest version of the game. I mean, the newest version, or the old version of my ENB. You click on that, it downloads. All right, and you want the wrapper version? You can use the injector version, but that's a little bit more advanced, and it can help if you're having conflicts with DxTory or something. But all you really need here, you don't need all this stuff because you know, your different ENB that you're going to download is going to take care of all this. But you need d3, d9.dll, and enbhost.exe. You just grab those two and drop them right into your Skyrim folder. You don't want to put them in your system folders or anything like that. These are DLLs. They belong in this folder only. So those are only the really two things that you need. And then you just drop all the data files and stuff from your ENB also right here in the root of your folder. And then when you start up the game, it should work just fine. If you guys have questions or comments or whatever, head over to the Tech Syndicate forums. There's going to be a link on the screen right now to take you over there. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this very long video, and it's over now.